All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a good morning. Maybe I should start saying grand rising. Because I mean, I'm not mourning anything. If I am mourning anything, it's probably the death of some cells in my body from all this radiation. And here they go. Um, yeah, just finished church with my mother. They definitely tried everything in their power to try to make me not want to come. They disrupted my sleep several times last night. And just so that everyone remembers, right, coming at an angle just like this, because I notice on every single person has a beam of light that is penetrating through the right hemisphere of their skull going into their brain. You might even find like a little divot, and it's like just behind the frontal lobes too. And there's like a little dent right there where that beam is going to. You can even, once you pass your hand over it, you would feel like your hand just went through something, right? And it's like this small. It's like this small. And when you pass your hand through it, you gotta remember, you are a light energy being. So when your light passes another light that produces a thermal energy, you can sense the presence of that light. So I could literally take my hand, this is what I'll be telling y'all, I could take my hand and I could pinch it. I could pinch it with my thumb and my index finger, and I got to pull it. It doesn't necessarily disconnect, it just ends up staying like it's almost as if like I could move it around, but it stays connected to my brain. Now I'm gonna just hold this for a second to see how much I could get out. In my studies, I found out that there are nanorobots that are voice command. So a lot of times, like let's say I'm holding this, right? And then I could yell, dang, I just missed the bus. There are times when I realize I could say the word like cut. Dang, I just missed another bus. I could say the word cut, right? And all of a sudden it would feel like some of the power was reduced from the frequency, or the wave carrying the energy being carried by the frequency wave gets reduced, right? And then as I'm holding it, it almost feels like if you strip the cover off of let's say a speaker wire, right? You strip the cover off of a speaker wire and it shows all those strands, all those other strands of wires. Dang, am I gonna try to walk it? I don't necessarily feel like waiting. That's a long walk. But anyway, it's like when you strip that plastic covering. That's cute. When you strip that plastic covering from the speaker wire and expose all the other little tiny strands of like wires and stuff like that inside of it, and when I say cut, it's like one of those little strands just get removed, and I can feel it in my hand even as I continue to hold it. The more I say cut, the thinner it becomes. I could keep saying cut, or if I say the word block, the moment I say the word block, all of a sudden it would feel like as if, it would feel like something is trying to blow through my index finger and my thumb. So if I say block, It's almost as if like someone was taking a water gun and shooting me right in between where my thumb and index finger is at. So if I say block, it's almost as if like my hand is blocking a stream of water from a water gun. And I feel like that water kind of like, that water pressure blasting up against my hand. But anyway, yeah, I know I was super tired yesterday from after work. It was rainy. You see it's raining now. Well, kind of drizzling right now, but it was tough. It was tough yesterday at work. But working in the rain is never really a fun day anyway. And it's interesting because yesterday they had so much focus of energy blasting into my lumbar, my lower back, that it got to a point where like most of the time I'm willing to like try to do as many routes as I can, because most of the time I feel amazing. Most of the time my body feels great. Like I don't have no problems. I don't have no real problems with my health. But with this energy weapon that they're using and how we're all connected to the cloud, and they could basically pick and choose who they want, harmful things to happen to, or if they want you to have back problems, they can set your body up so that you have back problems. It's basically a transmission of energy, or transmittance of energy, whether healing energy or harmful energy. Either way, it's all energy. And they're basically taking it from one source and they're directing it into your body. So it could be anything. It could come from anything that has an electromagnetic field, or anything that produces electromagnetic radiation. The cell phone is a given because the cell phone has several different sensors built into it, including the phased array antenna. So that's a given. Plus, with these lithium-ion batteries and everything like that, they have a ton of energy they can give off. Even when the phone says it's dead, especially the iPhone, even when it says the phone is dead, it's not even actually dead because it still has a charge to it. Like, I think it would have, like, a phone would have to be extremely dead for it to not actually still be able to be used as a weapon in this sense. And something else to note is like, okay, so you see that light pole up there? Yeah, that light pole up there. There are sensors. That's a LED. That's a LED light pole, right? The LED can be used as like beams of light going into your body. Why? Because your body is electromagnetic, which means you conduct everything. You conduct everything. Everything, as you're walking through this world, you may not see it. And I know you've probably heard some people say this before. Even though you may not see it, you are walking through energy. You're walking through radio frequencies. You're walking through numerous sensors that's all around us. You're walking through a lot of energy. And it's all harmful energy, to be honest. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can continue from the bus. Good morning or afternoon. Is it afternoon? I'm so morning. Okay, so. So I know I fell asleep at one point. I had a moment where, I fell asleep early last night, and then I woke up at 10:25 or it was like 10:25 or 10:29 p.m. Got up, I guess, used the bathroom or whatever. I think my girlfriend was up at the time too. Then I tried to find a way to go back to sleep. Then I woke up again the second time. Well, at least not I didn't wake myself up. They woke me up. They disturbed my brainwave activity. So I woke up a second time. Then I remember trying to go back to sleep. And then I remember being jolted up again. But at least this time I think, I don't know, well, you know, when you get V2K, I think that's pretty much a disturbance in itself. Because you're trying to go to sleep, but you're also hearing someone transmitting their voice into your mind. So, of course, you're not going to have that quietness that you need in your mind because they're basically speaking into your subconscious. Then something else I also had to note is I had this weird dream. I had this weird dream last night, and I don't remember too much about the dream, but I remember it had something to do with this patent that I found out about that Microsoft has. And it's basically about how to pay people in cryptocurrency using your own body activity. Let's say in a world where you're making some extra money, and one of the ways they tell you to do this is you got to all right, let me rephrase it, because now there's like there's pressure here. Yeah, that. Yeah.
Next stop, Malcolm X Boulevard and Decatur Street.
Yeah, that's going into the memory. So they're basically modulating the neurons that control my memory, recall, and everything right now as I speak. Anyway, so let's say
this stop is Malcolm X Boulevard and Decatur Street.
You get a message, right? Or there's like a list of, let's say, tasks, right? That you can do to earn cryptocurrency. Let's say someone says, okay, go to such and such address and ask for Tom. And that's all it says. It's just to go to such and such address and ask for Tom. You go to this specific address and you ask whoever's at this address for Tom. It doesn't give you any more instructions than that. All it's really going to do is just see if you physically moved your body to go to this specific place. That's your location. Then it's probably going to it's going to read your brainwave activity. They're gonna read your brain activity. They're gonna read your brain activity, and then they're gonna basically see if you actually spoke and listened to someone else. So it's like it's gonna read your activity to see if you actually spoke to someone about
this stop is Utica Avenue and Atlantic Avenue.
About Tom. And then next thing you know, you'll probably get like a notification or something, and it's going to let you know that you have successfully completed this task. Now you're going to have like cryptocurrency transferred to your account or whatever. I got a shave, man. You know, it's funny because I've been wanting to grow a beard and a mustache and all that since I was like a teenager and in my 20s, but it would never grow in full. Now that it's finally coming in, I'm like, I'm getting tired of managing it. when you're being targeted, you kind of actually kind of lose. Actually, a lot of the things that you used to think you wanted to do, it don't really matter anymore. Like it just becomes almost like null and void at some point. Like the aesthetics of life, they become null and void. They really don't matter anymore because when you realize what everybody is being conditioned to do for aesthetics, you realize what you're doing just to maintain your peace in a world where everyone and everything is trying to tell you what you need.
Next stop, Utica Avenue.
You then
and
begin
Dean
to
Street.
realize that
Transfers available to be 15
you
and
don't
B65.
need much at all, and you don't need to please anybody. All you really need to do is just be a decent human being and do the right thing when it's necessary.
This stop is Utica Avenue and
But
Dean Street.
anyway, so in the dream,
Next stop,
in the dream,
Utica Avenue and Prospect Place.
I don't remember exactly where I was in this dream, but some woman like walked up to me, and it kind of looked all white, like it was like all white, and then some woman walked up to me with her hands in her pocket. I don't remember everything she said, but she sounded like she said, Leviathan or something that started with an L and it had a V in it. And then she said Microsoft. And then she turned around and walked away. And then all of a sudden I woke up. I think that was the last time I had woke up. It was around like 2:50 or something like that. And I don't know. I didn't even really try to look into anything yet. But I was just trying to figure out like what does Microsoft? Because I know I was talking about this whole cryptocurrency thing about how they pay people based on their body activity.
This
But
stop is Utica Avenue and Prospect Place.
But I don't know.
Please exit through the rear door.
I'll work on that a little bit more later. But the more interesting thing is
Utica
this.
Avenue and St. John's
So
Place. Transfer available to be 45.
I'm gonna make sure I put that patent in the. I'm gonna put that patent in the. I'm gonna put that patent in the description, and then I'm also gonna put this in the description too. The church service, right? I kid you not. This is one of those moments where. I know people probably heard it before where like sometimes it feel like the pastor was talking specifically to me.
This stop
It
is
literally
Utica
felt
Avenue and
like
St. John's Place.
he was talking specifically about people who are probably being targeted or being connected to the cloud. I mean, but you also got to realize this technology is basically a mirror, a deceptive mirror of what the God consciousness is, the collective God consciousness is. And then you have the singularity consciousness, that
Next
that
stop,
singularity,
Utica
that
Avenue and
link
Eastern
that
Parkway.
basically
Transfers
uses
available
technology to
3 and
connect
4
everyone
trains.
all together.
B14, B17, and B46 SDS. Please exit through the rear
When I
door.
think about it, if this is if this technology literally forces everyone to be connected all at once, I feel like you gotta realize if you don't actually have control over this system, but somebody else does, but we're all connected, you gotta realize there's something that's probably about to happen that's not gonna end well. Because why would you want to be connected to someone that you don't know? And everything that they're doing, it is some way, shape, or form going to have an influence on your life. So why would I want myself connected to someone I don't know if I don't know that their spirit is right? Why would I want myself connected to someone who does not have a similar spirit to mine? That's why I'm not with all this, because I'm like, you're connecting my spiritual energy with someone who may not not share the same spiritual energy as me. That's like connecting the mind of a bear to a cat. They're not the same. They're not the same, but yet that's exactly what this technology does. It's connecting people who do not share the same spirit with each other. So someone who's probably
This stop is Utica Avenue and Houston.
someone who is probably well versed in a world of deceit, death, killings and stuff like that. Oh wow, somebody forgot their key. Oh man. But yeah, someone who is like well versed in death and killing and whatnot, they're going to be connected, whether they like it or not, to someone who does not operate on that same frequency level. Like someone who's a pedophile is now going to be connected to a child, and the child doesn't know anything about this stuff. But yet this pedophile, he's more than knowledgeable of this stuff. So now he is now going to be connected to this child. A man who abuses a woman and who has no type of like guilt or shame in anything that he does, his mind is now going to be connected to other women. So it's like they're connecting the minds of different people to other people, and we don't know these people that's connected to our mind. So you telling me I'm supposed to just accept the fact that this person I don't know is connected to my mind, and yet you're going to give this person that's connected to my mind probably more access to me than I would ever give them myself. Let me tell you something, right? I'll wait for the next train. I always like talking over here because I feel like I'm, like, even though this is man-made, I kind of want to put my feet in the grass a little bit. I have on Crocs right now, so, well, this tree is over here growing, so I think I'm going to just do just that. Try to see if I can earth myself a little bit. See if I can earth myself a little bit. Let me get close to the tree. Ooh. Oh, that works instantly. Okay. That worked instantly. Ooh, the pressure that just relieved from my body and my head right now. See, I took my shoes off just so I could, earth. I was like, I hope I'm not stepping on a condom. But anyway, yeah, so I'm supposed to be meeting up with some TIs later. One guy, I forget what he does, but I know he works. He does like marine, not like U.S. Marines, but like marine biology stuff or whatever. He's always on a boat traveling to different countries or different parts of the country. And he tells me all about all the different, attacks that they do against him. He's getting attacked left and right. Like he's getting, a lot of burns and like hits to the head, and like he's dealing with a lot. Now, we should not be forced to connect our energies with people who may not have the same energy as we do. Ah, that's cool. He got him a PS5. Hey, they got a PS5. I remember when I used to care about video games. I used to love playing my PS4. I used to love playing like NFL Madden, and I used to love playing like all kinds of adventure games, Assassin's Creed, all these different things. Which is funny because if you ever played Assassin's Creed, that game was foretelling a lot. Like, I never really thought about it. Until like maybe a few months ago. I was like, yo, Assassin's Creed is literally talking about how they're using technology to go into the deeper genetic history of memory or something like that. Like how like everything in our DNA from our past, is like everything about our past, our ancestral history, everything is all in our DNA. It's all in our DNA, right? Like at some point, maybe someone in my family or in my past, or maybe way back to before we were slaves, could have been a warrior, could have been a king, could have been a healer, or something like that. But of course, we're so far removed, we don't necessarily know too much about ourselves or our past, really. You know, we can literally go to like do one of those, ancestry things, give them our DNA and let them tell us, oh, well, your family could be rooted in, this country or that country, but you still don't really know anything about your history, your past, right? And then, oh man, I gotta use the bathroom. There's no public bathroom. Anyway. Yeah, so that this cord up here, this link, because I'm grounding, I could feel a lot of the energy basically dissipating. I'm still connected because I can still feel it. But the energy carried by the frequency is not as strong. It's not as strong. Because I guess it's because I'm earthing or grounding, right? Can I see my toes? Yeah. So, look, I'm gonna just say this, right? The pastor was in there talking about singularity. Not really, no, he didn't mention the word singularity. He was talking about collective consciousness. Then he mentioned some of you are having nightmares. Some of you are having dreams. And then the only thing you could do is think Jesus. And then I was like, no way he just did this. And now, in my mind, I had to remind myself, don't react. Because in my mind, I'm like, he must be a part of the secret society. Because there's no way that he knew exactly what to say that's about me. I mean, and I'm like, he said it exactly like if you go back to like, I think it was like my sixth or seventh video that I ever uploaded where I'm telling my story about the dream. And then I told the story about the I do this to jog my memory again. But I also realize when I do this, like just snapping my fingers, when I do that, it causes a audible interference. I was telling the story about the I guess I could call it street theater, where the girl, mentioned that she was in like a domestic thing happening in a building I was living in before, and then all of a sudden, dang, I really gotta pee. But and then police got called, and months later I had the dream where the guy who was actually the one who hit her, or at least what was said that he hit her, he was the one that was actually in my dream, but his face was blurred. Like imagine my face as a painting, and then I just took my hand and just smudged it. It was just like that. His hair was like out like this, and he had like a white tank top on, and it looked like blue jeans, and he was kind of like a not a mocha color, but like a light, not too light skin, but it was like a latte, like he was He was like a light brown skin tone. And then, but all around his body was this black vibrating aura. It was just black, but it was all vibrating around his body. And he was like in my house. He was like in my house, in my apartment, standing over me as I was sleeping on my couch. He didn't say anything. All he did was like he just stood over me and I couldn't move because in my, your first reaction when someone's in your home and they're not supposed to be there and you wake up, first thing you want to do is jump up but I couldn't move. Then when I wanted to speak, I couldn't speak. So then all of a sudden, when he started to like raise his arm up at me like this, pointing at me, that's when all of a sudden I started to just go through my mind. I'm like, I can't speak and I can't get up. What can I do? I just thought of the word Jesus. And once I thought of the word Jesus, I woke up just like that. And I remember I just sat up. I sat up on my couch and I just had this feeling like something is coming. And I need to be prepared. And the fact that Jesus was the only thing to wake me up from that dream, I was like, I need to prepare myself for whatever's about to come. Or if not, just only prepare myself, but be ready because there are forces that are coming against me, right? I kid you not when I tell you, a lot of these people who don't believe in spirituality, they're not going to make it. And I've been watching I've seen a couple of videos, or at least one video and then one person stating that that hell is empty right now. And I thought about that. I was like, because like in hell, souls get destroyed in hell, right? So I'm thinking to myself, souls get destroyed in hell, and then if Satan is actually let loose for 1,000 years, then what if Satan is actually really out here trying to collect as many souls as he can, because once that switch gets flipped and everyone who does not have the seal of God on their soul or on their soul, basically, if you do not have the seal of God, when you die, you're not going to go straight to hell. First, you're going to get judged, and probably judged by all the people. Now they just sent a powerful energy burst to my head, but luckily I've been learning about chi. So even when I go up like this, I could feel energy passing through the top part of my fingers. And the energy burst that I just felt, it's all coming from above. So they don't like me talking like this, because it points out the fact that I see the devil, I see every wickedness of all the fallen ones. I see how they're using technology to put the spirit of fear in people. I see how they're using technology and how they're using worldly desires and material things to convince people, don't worry, it's okay. We're all going to be in it together. They're about to take everyone and send them right to hell. Now, I'm pretty sure, and most TIs all know, that they got slander campaigns. They got all kinds of character assassination things out here. But I'm not fearful of that. As long as I'm doing the right thing at the right time always, that's all that matters. They can say whatever they want, but people people will allow themselves to be manipulated by whatever's being told to them anyway, because that's just what some people are. Some people are followers. Some people don't necessarily care to follow up or research anything. What they do is they just basically get told something and they say, okay, and then that's it. They just go ahead and they just believe it. Wow, look at this guy right here. They're everywhere. Ain't no squirrels out here. The squirrels should be out here going crazy. But anyway, yeah, this was a good idea to come out here and just put my feet in the grass, doing some earthing, some grounding. Yeah, so all this energy right here it's like, this is the main link. The main link, let me see. The main link is like, it connects right here. Everyone has this. I noticed this. Everyone has this. You can't see it because it's in infrared. You can't see it because it's in infrared. Everyone has that same connection to the cloud. Every single person. Children, babies, men, women, everyone. But not everybody is given access to their own, let's say, neural network, their own electronic neural network. So billions of people are connected to this cloud, but not everybody is given access to their own, let's just say, digital body. Your cell phones are used as personal servers that basically extract information from you, and then it sends it to the cloud. Someone at a remote location or a base, they're going through that information, or a fusion center. They're going through that data, and they're basically doing God knows what with it. If they want to basically tap, just to wipe any dirt off my feet real quick. They're basically going to use everything to their own liking. If they want to turn you into whoever they want to turn you into, all they got to do. And artificial intelligence is basically gathered just about every bit of information about humans in general that it can. So, and if we're all connected, think about it. If they want to turn you into a murderer, the AI can write that code up, convert it from binary code to radio frequency, send it through your link. Then your brain receives it and then basically converts that radio frequency into electrical impulses. Now all of a sudden you're basically resonating with that type of energy, and then next thing you know, you find yourself having these thoughts and impulses, and then eventually, if you're not strong enough, you actually act on it. And that's the worst thing, is a lot of people are being engaged. A lot of people are having thoughts implanted into them, but they don't have the sense to actually know not to engage it. Because an implanted thought is just a thought. But the moment you start to give it action, that's when it becomes so much more than just a thought. A thought is an action potential. Dang, I missed my train anyway. I was trying to time it so I could come down when it's just right. Yeah, so what I realized is a lot of people that's afraid to actually go against the grain. Why? Because people have lost faith in. It's the funny thing is, it's crazy how people don't believe in God, They don't believe in God. They think they have a spirit, but they don't want to believe in God. What do you think created the human spirit in the first place? I'm not going to sit here and say man created the spirit. That would be foolish. So you got to realize a lot of people are afraid, and they're afraid now because they're afraid of dying. They don't realize these bodies are just vessels. These bodies are just vessels. These vessels are literally just carrying your spiritual body. People are afraid to actually leave their vessel, forgetting the fact that the way God works, God can take your spiritual energy out your vessel anyway, and then put you in suspension, and then let you wait for you to be judged. And then if God really wants to, God can take your energy, God can take your spiritual energy and then reincarnate you into a totally different person in a different body. And they're all basically, like, I walked past a couple of people and I could tell that they are definitely they're, I guess, commentating on everything that I'm saying. So they're all working as a single-minded unit. Remember the agents from the Matrix? That's exactly it. But the only way you wouldn't necessarily go along with this is if you have already been chosen by God to move differently from everyone else. When God chooses you, especially since birth, you already move differently from everybody else. You don't respond to the same things as everyone else. You don't do the same things as everyone else. I feel an energy on my phone. It's coming from the back of the phone, almost as if like something's directed to my phone. Anyway, when you are chosen by God, since the day you were born, you automatically will just move and operate differently than everyone else on the earth, unless you come against or come around someone who is chosen by God too, and it will just naturally just work accordingly. It's a lot of people that's afraid right now. And they're afraid for the wrong reasons. They're afraid of dying. But we all want to die. They're afraid of having their lives taken from them or having their loved ones taken from them. But you gotta remember, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that every single person is fearing right now is the very same things that people have been told to fear for centuries. How you gonna expect God to work for you if you're gonna allow yourself to fear the very same things that we were told not to fear for centuries? And it's written in text and stone and tablets and whatever. Don't let the spirit of fear rule you. We're all gonna die anyway. But not everyone is gonna suffer from spiritual death. Not everyone is gonna suffer a spiritual death. We're all going to die anyway, but not everyone is going to suffer a spiritual death. And it's funny because I asked the pastor, I walked up to him. It's funny because you know what? When we went to go and give like our offerings or whatever, he was there to like shake people's hands. So I wanted to see what it felt like. So I shook his hand, right? And all of a sudden I just felt like this, it was like an explosion of like nerve activities in my hand. And I didn't do anything else. I just kept holding my hand like this as I was walking back to my seat. And I just kept feeling it. And then I was just like, I wonder if he could be targeted in a sense. And he's probably like just recanting his own story. I don't know. But I went up to him after the service and I asked him, like, how did you get this? Like how did this sermon come to you? And he laughed and said, just by praying. I said, okay. I'm gonna let that rock. So then I went on to tell him about like my dream about the Jesus dream and whatnot. And then he says to me, he was like something along the lines of you have to pray to God and ask him what is your true purpose in this world. And don't wait until you get to his age, because I think he's like in his 50s. He's like, don't wait till you get to my age to want to start walking in the path now. Do it now so that you're already ahead of the game. So I'm like, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and keep being in my spirit. Because why would I try something different when my entire life, everything that I've ever done and received has all been because of God and how I react to the world magically. Why would I change that when I never had to face some of the same problems some people do? I never had to go through some of the same struggles that some people do. Why would I change what has been working for me my entire life just so that I could be a part of everybody? No. Get me disconnected from this, God. Get me disconnected from this. I don't want to be a part of what they're about to be a part of. Get me disconnected.